On Sunday, Japan's ruling LDP won a landslide supermajority in a snap election called by Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. The scale of the victory marks an astonishing turnaround after years of difficulty for the LDP, and a significant mandate for Takaichi, with big implications for spending, constitutional revision, and more. In this video, we're going to explain how Japan got here, the election results, and what they mean for the future. Never miss an episode and always feel in the loop by subscribing and ringing the bell. You'd be forgiven if all this talk about a Japanese election is giving you a sense of déjà vu, as since 2020, Japan has held 3 lower house elections, 2 upper house elections, and 4 leadership elections for the ruling LDP, giving you a sense of just how politically tumultuous this period has been. So, it's worth going back to explain how we got here, before diving into Sunday's results. It was under Fumio Kishida that the LDP's problems really started to emerge. Already facing voter frustration about the rising cost of living and scrutiny over the party's connections with the controversial Unification Church, in November 2023, a slush fund scandal involving the misuse of campaign funds by factions of the LDP erupted, driving up disapproval of Kishida's cabinet and pushing down LDP support in the polls. Despite his efforts to restore trust in the party, Kishida ultimately resigned as LDP leader and Prime Minister in the summer of 2024, triggering a party leadership election in September that year, which was won by the relatively moderate Shigeru Ishiba, who defeated the conservative Sanae Takaichi. Ishiba hoped to capitalise on his honeymoon period, and so called a snap election for October 2024, but his plan backfired. The LDP and its longtime coalition partner Komeito lost its majority in the lower house, forcing Ishiba to lead a minority government from then onwards. Things did not get better for Ishiba, as in July 2025, Japan held its regularly scheduled upper house election, at which the LDP-Komeito coalition lost its majority, while conservative and far-right parties performed well, meaning the government was without a majority in either parliamentary chamber. Ishiba subsequently announced his intention to resign, setting up yet another LDP leadership election in October 2025, which was won by Sanae Takaichi, who became Japan's first female prime minister. Now, Takaichi's rise to the premiership represented a notable shift to the right for the LDP, as she came from the more conservative nationalist wing of the party, and was a protégé of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Facing this rightward shift, as well as doubts about Takaichi's commitment to post-slush fund scandal political reform, Komeito decided to quit its coalition and end its 26-year alliance with the LDP, hoping to shore up its waning support. This forced Takaichi to go in search of another coalition partner, eventually striking a confidence and supply agreement with the right-leaning Ishin party, a looser arrangement than its previous coalition, and still with a minority in both chambers. Since taking office, though, Takaichi enjoyed a remarkable surge in popularity, with her approval rating in the 60s and even 70s. And so, in January, Takaichi took a major gamble and called a snap election for February the 8th, Japan's first midwinter election in 36 years, hoping to capitalise on her popularity and secure her government a majority, to make life much easier. As such, Takaichi deliberately framed the election in almost presidential terms, saying it was a vote on who will lead the country, and saying she will resign if she doesn't secure a majority. Essentially, she hoped her own personal popularity could pull up the LDP's support. Opposition parties had to scramble to prepare themselves for a looming snap election, which resulted in some dramatic changes in the party landscape. Most notably, the largest opposition party, the Constitutional Democratic Party, joined forces with Komeito, the LDP's former partner, to form a new party called the Centrist Reform Alliance, or CRA, putting itself forward, unsurprisingly, as a centrist reformist force, and hoping to boost its chances at the election. So, what happened in the campaign? Well, as we said, it was a very Takaichi-focused campaign by the LDP, with news reports of Sanae mania affirming Takaichi's personal popularity. Like her former mentor Shinzo Abe, she wants to pursue a looser and more aggressive fiscal policy, with greater spending, the prospect of which spooked investors and sparked a sell-off of Japanese bonds in January. The campaign has seen voters overwhelmingly focus on economic issues like inflation and living costs. The LDP wants to scrap the 8% consumption tax on food and drink for 2 years to relieve the cost of living and tighten rules on foreign acquisition of property, aiming to win back support from Conservative voters. The CRA also wants to scrap the consumption tax, has proposed setting up a sovereign wealth fund, and wants more political reforms to more strictly regulate political donations and boost parliamentary oversight. Takaichi's hawkish foreign and security posture has seen her already fall out with China over her comments on supporting Taiwan, and the LDP wants to scrap certain rules limiting defence exports. Its coalition partner Ishin wants to open the door to nuclear sharing with the United States, which would mean a change of Japan's long-held non-nuclear policy. So, with that out the way, let's dive into the results. Takaichi's gamble paid off, massively. The LDP not only regained its majority, but managed to secure a 2/3 supermajority, winning 316 out of 465 seats, an increase of more than 100. That's the most seats ever won by any party in Japan's electoral history. Coalition partner Ishin stayed relatively stable on 36 seats. Meanwhile, it was a disaster for the hastily assembled CRA, which utterly failed to capture public attention and lost way more than half its seats, falling to just 49. The LDP supermajority means that the government has enough lower house seats to override and pass legislation rejected by the upper house, where the government lacks a majority, so governing becomes a whole lot easier. A supermajority also means the LDP could kickstart amending Japan's post-war constitution, although amendments also require 2/3 support in the upper house and endorsement by voters in a referendum. For context, Takaichi has signalled that she wants to start parliamentary debate on revising Article 9 of Japan's pacifist constitution to explicitly recognise the self-defence forces, Japan's de facto military. The result represents a huge personal mandate for Takaichi and a remarkable comeback for the LDP after a few years of decline. Rather than entering a post-LDP era, the long dominance of the party that has ruled Japan almost uninterrupted since 1955 has instead been renewed. The landslide victory will bolster her plans to pursue aggressive government spending in a bid to spur growth. This prospect has boosted the stock market but rattled the bond markets, which may turn out to be her biggest constraint, and may put further downwards pressure on the yen. On the international stage, Takaichi gets on well with Trump, who gave her his complete and total endorsement ahead of the election. However, diplomatic tensions with China look set to continue, or worsen, as Beijing won't be pleased at the prospect of a more nationalistic Japanese leader that wants to strengthen the military and revise the constitution. Now, this is a big story, and amongst every other big story happening right now, you might feel powerless in the current climate. The problems feel massive, and individual actions can feel meaningless. But what if we told you that you could be part of something bigger? Something that actually turns concern into action? Well, that's where our friends at Planet Wild come in. Planet Wild isn't just your usual environmental organisation. It's a passionate community built around a clear focus, protecting and conserving the world we all live in. We're more aware than ever that the world is a scary place, and the state of our planet needs change. So, every single month, the Planet Wild community funds a mission to protect endangered animals, restore our forests, and clean our oceans. They document all these missions in videos here on YouTube, so we can see exactly what we've helped to achieve. The impact we've made will be right before our eyes. From cleaning up Mumbai's plastic river to protecting Europe's last ancient forest, and even saving elephants with the help of bees, Planet Wild will stop at nothing to make the world a better place for every living being on it. So, where do you and I come in? Well, by becoming a member, we're directly funding a brand new nature mission from the comfort of our own home. We support, they execute. If you want to join the growing community making a real difference, Planet Wild is the place to be. Big or small, your difference matters, and you can contribute as little as $6 a month to help protect nature. We're big fans of Planet Wild, so much so that the first 100 people to use code NEWSGLOBAL2 will get their first month paid for by us. Just scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description. By joining today, you'll immediately make a difference and even be able to see your impact in less than 30 days on YouTube right here. You can cancel your membership at any time, so there's absolutely no catch, just an easy and remarkable way to create real and lasting change. If you want to see them in action, check out their mission at cleaning up Mumbai's plastic river.